Hey, thanks for checking out my ultimate guide on how to spend 4 days in Kyoto. Now, ideally, you want to spend at least a week here because there are so many things to see and do. But if you can't spare the time, then 4 days is the absolute minimum. Before we begin, just know that getting around Kyoto is as easy as installing Google Maps on your phone, and then relying on their efficient and extensive train system. Kyoto is also a very walkable city. For day 1, we're spending the day in the southern Higashiyama district, where the city's best temples and Shinto shrines are found. You'll also see plenty of cool cafes and shop at a ton of souvenir shops. Your first stop is at Kiyomizu-dera, or Pure Water Temple. Built in 1633, this beautiful temple is also a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Known for its beautiful wooden halls, statues of Buddha, and a great wooden stage that allows you to see the magnificent views of the garden and of the city itself. Once you leave the temple, you'll head down Sanenzaka Street, which is a busy shopping street that has shops lined on both sides. There's tea houses, cafes, and beautiful buildings to admire here. You might also want to check out one of the most unique and beautiful Starbucks in Japan, if not the world, while you're here. Located in a 100-year-old tea house, this is Starbucks reimagined as a traditional Japanese establishment, complete with wooden floors and, of course, sitting on tatami mats. If you want to people watch, there are great viewing points on the second floor. Find a spot near a window, sip your coffee, and just take it all in. And when you're ready, it's time to move on to another nearby temple, the Kodaiji. Some people might notice how this temple looks more feminine than other temples, and that's because it was actually founded by a woman. The highlights here include the Founders Hall and Sanctuary, where you'll see beautiful lacquer work with gold insets, and there's also a beautiful rock garden to admire and experience Zen. Moving on to day 2, and we're heading for a change of scenery, this time to Arashiyama and northwest of Kyoto. If you've been aching to visit the beautiful bamboo groves of Kyoto, today is your lucky day. Head to the bamboo forest as early as you can. If possible, try to reach there at around 7 or 8 in the morning. This is a popular tourist spot, and it loses its attractiveness really quickly when there are lots of people around talking and making all sorts of noises. One of the attractions of this grove is the peace and serenity, both of which you'll only get when there is nobody around. Next, head to the nearby Tenryuji Temple, which has a beautiful garden and an amazing lotus pond, a rock garden, and a series of beautiful halls. It is one of the 5 most important temples in Kyoto and a great place to learn more about Japan's culture, tradition, and history. If you still have some time, the Arashiyama Monkey Park is a good spot to add to your list, and it is actually near Tenryuji. The park has loads of free roaming monkeys, and it is the humans that have to interact with them from inside a cage this time. You'll need to do a little hiking to get to the monkey park, so make sure you're feeling up for it before deciding to go. Our last stop for day 2 of Kyoto is none other than the famous golden pavilion called Kinkakuji. This is a building that looks like it's floating on water and covered in gold leaf. How amazing is that? Pictures don't do it any justice at all. Seeing it in real life is simply amazing. There's going to be a lot of people here, especially in the afternoon, but don't worry because being able to see the golden pavilion up close makes it worth the trouble. So we've covered a lot of ground in the past 2 days. Today, we're going to eat and get back all that energy that we've spent. How's that sound? Good? Alright. We're going to downtown Kyoto to visit the 400-year-old Nishiki market, also known as Kyoto's market. I was so excited to come here because I wanted to try as many local foods as I could, and if you're like me, here's what I absolutely recommend. The egg octopus. You will see this baby octopus on a stick with oversized heads. They've actually been stuffed with a quail egg before being marinated with a spicy and sweet sauce. They taste so good, especially on an empty stomach. Senbei. These are rice crackers, but probably not the same ones you'd find from the general store in Chinatown. Japan's senbei are super crispy, and you can choose from many different flavorful toppings that range from plain salt to spicy and sweet versions. If you love crunchy food, nothing beats the sensation and taste of the senbei. Now, once you're done filling up on all that delicious food, you can check the nearby historical neighborhood of Gion. This was the red light district of Kyoto hundreds of years ago, and it was where the geisha establishments were first founded. Today, it is a popular neighborhood filled with history, tea houses, and tons of shops to browse from. You might even get to see a geisha or two walking in the streets or rushing to their next appointments. Now, when it comes to geishas, despite what popular movies may have you believe, geishas are entertainers, not prostitutes. They spend years honing their craft on how to entertain clients, and so they should always be respected when you see them moving around. Best time to see them is during the evenings on weekends or on holidays, as they will most likely be on their way to work. Now, what better way to end a food day than to have more food? This time, let's check out some popular food tours of Kyoto. One of the most highly rated ones can be found right here in Gion. It is a 3-hour food and culture tour that takes you to local bars and to visit the many entertainment areas in Gion. This tour is perfect for people who want to experience Kyoto's nightlife, but would rather do it in a group of like-minded people than alone. I'll leave links to other popular food tours in the description box below, so be sure to check them out after you're done watching this video. For our last day, we're back to visiting even more beautiful historical sites, starting with the famous Fushimi Inari Taisha. This is the temple with the thousands of red torii gates lining up a path that goes up the mountain. Just like the Arashiyama bamboo grove, come here early and go up the path with the torii gates if you want the best experience and photos. There are about 10,000 gates here, and if you do decide to climb all the way to the top, your reward will be an amazing view of Kyoto City. Just be warned that the climb up could take you between 2 to 3 hours to reach, so make sure you spare the time for it. The nearby Nanzenji Temple is another of Kyoto's most important Zen Buddhist temples, and it is ancient. Built in the 1200s, this temple is known for its wide temple grounds, beautiful main gate, and its many sub-temples. Next, the Philosopher's Path is a good spot for a stroll, especially during cherry blossom season. This is because on both sides of the canal are thousands of cherry blossom trees that all bloom at the same time, and it makes for great photographs. It is equally as beautiful in the autumn season with the fall foliage. Now, just to be clear, Kyoto is a huge city, and if you want to explore them all, you definitely want to spend more than 4 days here. If you could spend the time, I would recommend at least a week here. What I've given you are the most famous attractions so that you can tell people that you've actually been to Kyoto and seen the important sites. What has been your favorite place in Kyoto? Let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for checking out this video, and if you're new here, please feel free to subscribe because I have a ton of new content coming your way. And with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next one.